Right now, WATE 6 on Your Side's Jillian Mahan takes a look at Pat Summitt's impact on women's athletics and the legacy she leaves behind.
38 years, 1,098 wins, 32 conference titles, 31 NCAA tournament appearances, 8 national championships.
First thing I want you to know, I'm going to smile for you, okay?
The numbers put her in the stratosphere of coaches, but the numbers are far from the whole story. Pat Summitt, she built a program, built a legacy, etched her name in sports history. From the dawn of Title IX to the 21st century, where women's basketball is not only popular, but played with all the ferocity and competitiveness of the men's game. She played at UT Martin from 1970 to 1974. Then she came to Knoxville and became the Lady Vols head coach at just 22 years old. At a time when lots of colleges didn't even have women's teams, let alone scholarships, Pat was still working on her master's degree while paving the way on the sidelines. She played on the 1976 Olympic squad, brought home a silver medal, and less than 10 years later, coached the USA to a gold.
I'll be very honest with you. It has not been difficult at all to bring this team to a gold medal situation because I think they were committed from the very beginning. And in looking back and reflecting on what has happened over the last 8 years, I think that we're seeing that there are better athletes playing the game now. We're seeing that there are a greater number of athletes playing the game. And as a result, women's basketball is just getting better and better.
And kept racking up the wins. Along the way, she built a family. Son Tyler started as a fixture at the edge of the court. He learned from his mom, growing into a coach himself.
My mom really just led by example. I mean, you know, her faith, going to church, what she did with her staff and the family and her team, and just leading by example is how she did things.
Like her son, Pat raised players to become coaches. And those players, they were pretty good students, too. The same fire, the signature stare that rocked refs and put opponents on their heels, motivated student athletes to focus on the books as much as the court.
For all of us, we learned about what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to be a great woman, what it takes to be a great lady, what it takes to have character, what it takes to have poise.
100%. That's the graduation rate for all Lady Vols who completed their eligibility at Tennessee under Summitt.
She's one of the most inspiring women in my life, and I think that it's not that she talks about it, she lives it.
The Lady Vols were in the Final Four time and time again. Pat's wins continued to accumulate. She passed the legendary Dean Smith when she won game number 880. UT put her name on a street and the court.
I don't think there could have been a better gift in terms of just the feeling that I had and how much I love this university.
This has always been the Summit. They're just now naming it the Summit.
And her teams kept winning, crossing the 1,000 mark in 2009. But it wasn't long after that Pat started noticing something was wrong. She found herself having trouble talking to her players one-on-one and making in-game decisions. Then, August of 2011, in a Washington Post article written by friend Sally Jenkins, Pat revealed that she had been diagnosed with early onset dementia, Alzheimer's, at just 59 years old.
Once I knew what I was dealing with, you know, I think that's the unknown is what's scary. But now knowing what I know, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to keep my mind sharp.
She didn't stop, though. True to her can't-quit nature, she kept coaching, and we saw a new advocacy spring up. We back Pat and the Pat Summitt Foundation, using her drive and her platform to raise money and awareness for the very disease taking her from the sport she loved.
And Pat told me the other day, she said, Joan, you know, I'm not going to be remembered just for winning basketball games. I'm going to be remembered for making a difference in this disease.
By the spring of 2012, UT made Summitt head coach emeritus. Her former player and longtime assistant coach, Holly Warlick, stepping up to lead the Lady Vols.
We have experienced the absolute golden age of that. And are so glad we did, you know, and hope it'll continue.
And in May of 2012, an honor shared by Mother Teresa, Neil Armstrong, and Jackie Robinson. the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
And I was telling somebody like Pat Summitt, when I think about my two daughters, who are tall and gifted, and knowing that because of folks like Coach Summitt, they're standing up straight and diving after loose balls and feeling confident and strong, then I understand that the impact that these people have had extends beyond me.
For a while, you could still see her courtside, but by November of 2013, she was always outside Thompson Bowling Arena, nearly 9 feet tall, arms folded, the infamous stare. A sentinel in bronze standing watch over the legacy she leaves behind on the court, the record books, and in the hearts of players and fans.